Come on, Lex. Thank you! So now, black people, man, is you do. A lot of assholes out here. You start doing the genetic tests as a black person, and it's like it's like a Cracker Jack prize, man. You're going in there, you think you know what you expect, and that marker, those markers come back, and you are completely lost. You find out that your dad, who's darker than your mom, is 30% European. 30%, like what the hell? Like, wait, what? Then you look at your mom's DNA, and lurking in the background, she's got Jewish DNA. %, but still. You kind of scratch your head, and then you find out there's some Spanish DNA in there. And then both sides of my family got Scandinavian DNA, and I don't know how the hell that happened. So, I'm thinking Irish. I'm thinking English, which on the dad's side, that's what it was, is English. Even the African part kind of throws you a little bit, because you're thinking it's one part of Africa, and then you find it's like all over Africa. For some reason, there's Filipino DNA in there, Pacific Islander, Oceanic, and you're just like, okay. That's all Native American. Very, very like a splish splash. There's less Native American DNA than there was Jewish DNA. That means any kids you have, they can't be considered half black, because you're not even half, because you're giving them 35%. Shit, and higher. The math gets thrown all off. So all of a sudden you got kids that are 35% or a quarter black. Genetics, man. But the cool thing is it makes you realize that the concept of racism is bullshit. Everybody's so mixed up now, it's hard to sit there and call yourself 100% anything. That's why so many people in my mom's side of the family they were Posse Blanc. Posse Blanc means that they were African Americans, but phenotypically they could pass for white. I was thinking about that yesterday. The guy came by my house. His mom was mostly a lot of assholes out here. His mom was basically a New England wasp, and then his dad was Mexican. And then he's married to a woman who's from Southeast Asia. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm lauding the fact that his kids are like so mixed up. Not realizing that me myself. Like, his kids aren't mixed up, everybody's mixed up. Shit. That's also what I learned today, is no matter how dark the African American is, genetically, that doesn't mean shit. You sit there and say, yeah, you're 50%. Like, what? Like the guy said in the movie, but you're black. He's like, well, you are. Oh, man. Anyway. It's always a joy, though, when you look at the test and it says 100% human. Heaven forbid one day you do that test and it says, well, according to this, you're 75% human and 25% unknown. No ET DNA, no supernatural DNA. No other animal DNA, 100% human. I wonder if anybody's shown up as that yet. Like they did the gene test, found out that they had something other than human in their system. Keeping it under wraps. Did you know you were half alien? I was like, no, my dad never told me. Ass wipe. Anyway, start putting out on the census American mutt. It's a good old-fashioned American mutt. Man, why isn't it that? Why can't we all be that? Just that. You're an American mutt, what color? Black. American mutt, what color? White. American mutt, what color? Kind of a beige color. A pink American mutt. You know we still segregate, right? You know how those pinkies are. It's like, what? I don't trust the sprinkled ones. The sprinkled ones? People with freckles. It's always been one of my weaknesses. Freckles drive me crazy. Anyway, like I said, it doesn't matter what a gene test says. America is a backward nation, and the 1% rule always applies. The one drop rule always applies. The gene test can tell me that I'm 70%, 50% something. And the one drop rule will always say, you're an outsider. Outsider American. You may have been born here, but because of the way you look, you'll always be suspect. Treated like a suspect, but I digress. It's nice out here. I forgot to get the time and temperature and ozone readings. My eyes are burning a little bit, so it's got to be at least yellow. My guess is about 82, 84 degrees, and the AQI is about 77. What I wish, or I kind of wish that you can reprogram the GoPro. Maybe you can do it in future versions. You can add little applications to it. And what I would like is a heads-up display that gives me time, date, temperature, and ozone level. Gets that from a feed. But the problem is that would take Wi-Fi, which means it would drain the battery life. That's one reason why we need a free public Wi-Fi. Just so we can keep up with atmospheric conditions. I actually wish that that's what they had. Like they would just There's a Wi-Fi network you connect to, and that's all you're going to get is push requests for time, temperature, and everything else. And then your device hooks into that, and it gets that feed that's constantly being broadcast. The cool thing is the feed will also have alerts. Bad ozone, hurricane coming, tornado, freeze alert. Unfortunately, it'll probably get hijacked, and they say, yeah, we're also going to send amber alerts to that thing too. I mean, I guess it'd be helpful if you were out in the street and you're like, hey, I saw that car, but you couldn't call it in. Because your Wi-Fi would just be limited to the push. I wonder why we haven't gotten that yet. Why there isn't a general public Wi-Fi that just broadcasts information. You can connect to it, you can download the app that interprets the signal, but that's all you can do. Some people would say, well, such a network would be redundant. It's like right now we've got hundreds of different feeds, and they're all different. They all change in a different way. Just have one maintained by the NOAA or the NWS. Yeah, that would never work though, because it makes sense. Everybody can find a way to shoot it down, but it would work. The reason I say it could work is because that's what they do for people who have TV. You get your digital converter box or your on-air signal, and every major station has a channel. You know, ABC, CBS, NBC. They have a secondary channel. That's all you get is news, and what you get news, weather, time, and temperature. I guess that's part of weather, but you get news, weather, and time. So why doesn't that extend to Wi-Fi devices? Not that hard to maintain in a city. A public hotspot for emergency broadcasts. You could even vector it. If you're rich enough, if your city's rich enough, you could have broadcast community events. Let homeless people know when certain shelters are closed and where they can go, what other shelter they can get to. Crime warnings. You walk into an area, you connect to its community hotspot. It says, hey, by the way, you're walking around here at 8 o'clock at night. You know there's a rapist around? Oh, shit. Let me get my ass out of here. Carjackings in the area. can also get a warning about bait cars. It's like, hey, there's bait cars in the area, so if you ever think about stealing something, you might want to think twice. I don't know, it sounds like a good idea. Which is why it won't happen. I'm sure someone's already thought about it and said it. Is there a way we can make money off of this? No? Well, forget about it. I mean, you as an individual could do it. The way you would do it is you set up your computer. Not your computer, but you set up a computer. You can even set up a virtual machine. The virtual machine has a VLAN. And VLAN blocks every site except for those that maybe have like .gov or something like that. Or you'd have to come up with your own. You come up. A lot of assholes out here. You set it to blacklist everything, and then you would have your whitelist. As for the feed part of it, the way you would work it out is they connect to your Wi-Fi, then we get an HTTP redirector. It'd send you over to a site, and the site says, you know, sign in, and then on top of that, it would have links. It would redirect you to a home page. And the home page would say, download this app, and you can get the feed. So you need an Android developer, network administrator, a web developer. You don't need anybody who knows how to make virtual machines and whatnot, because you can do that yourself. But you put your device out there. Maybe tell some of your neighbors, hey, can you put this Wi-Fi antenna on your house and just boost my signal? And then that community would just have the community Wi-Fi. That's what's going to wind up happening, though. They'll have a neighborhood watch Wi-Fi, and somebody who's tech savvy enough. It's probably already happened. And then I think I've heard of apartments that do that. In dorms. I know one city I don't think it's here, I think it's in Europe somewhere, where they actually have public Wi-Fi. I mean, there are a lot of assholes out here. Anyway. I'm gonna do some research and see what I find out. I think I remember reading about that. They were saying that in the homeless places with some cities are generous enough to where they allow their homeless citizens to have free Wi-Fi access. They put hot spots all over the downtown area on the buildings. And they're testing it out in places in Europe. There are even some spots in the United States where some cities in the United States where they're doing it. We've seen experiments where Google was trying to do an experiment with Wi-Fi balloons. They would take weather balloons and they would attach Wi-Fi antennas to them and put them up in the atmosphere. They can hang up there for a few days. And that was one way of bringing Wi-Fi to remote areas. Now you find out you got Jewish DNA and you wonder if there's a one-drop rule for being Jewish. And I started to think about neo-Nazis, and I was like, well, when I was black, they were just gonna, you know, leave me alone. But now that I'm Jewish, I could probably get killed. And I was like, it's like, no, they're gonna kill you no matter what. You were something other than Aryan. Wait a minute, though. I'd have Norse blood. I mean, I'd have Scandinavian blood, so theoretically, I'd still have some Aryan. Doesn't matter, you're tainted by the Jewish blood. I said, okay. I'm like oil in drinking water. What do they say? I'm that one drop of diesel in your drinking water. And Jews are like, we're not a race, we're more of an ethnicity / race. That's what I was looking on the website, and they were like, if your mother was Jewish and you were of the Jewish faith, then you're Jewish. It's not even that hard to get into the club. Like Native Americans, it's like, well, you're 12.5%, and did you pay your tribal fees, and did you do this and do that? And you're like, what, huh? So I couldn't be part of a tribe, but I couldn't be part of a Native American tribe, but I could be part of a Native Jewish tribe. And I always said that. It's like, I have absolutely no reason. I said, I have absolutely no reason to ever go to Israel. None. And now, well, you got a 1% reason. Like, son of a bitch. Go over there and just start messing with a whole bunch of folks. Hey, I'm your cousin. Like 5 times removed. It would explain the breast cancer. And it would explain some of the allergies, food allergies. And they start showing, they say, here are the people that, you know, so far who have signed up for the genetic thing, and here's some of your relatives, and here's your third cousin. Some white guy with the last name Fry. Am I gonna get the phone call one day? I don't know. Dude calls up, says, hey, I'm one of your kinfolk. I'm like, hey, how you doing? really proud of my sister though. She really took to this assignment. Like that was her whole thing. She was really curious, so she started tracing back all the family tree and stuff. And then she did the genetic stuff, and you know, I really wasn't expecting. I was like, as a joke, I was saying, yeah, I guess we're gonna find some white guys here and there. I didn't expect the percentage to be that high. Like, you look in the mirror and every day and all you see is a black guy. You know there's European, you just don't know how much. And then you just wake up to the day, yeah, I'm only 75% black. Damn, I ain't black enough. It's like, nah, buddy. All you need is one drop. That's how easy it is to be black. You just need one drop of blood. One drop of blood and you're an outcast. Credit score goes down. They kick you out of the country club. You know, just little things. Oh. Yeah, but yeah, finding out you got Spanish blood, that's kind of that threw me for a loop. I thought it was gonna be like French. French, English, Irish. I was like, no, man. You're 6% Hispanic. I was like, okay. My brother-in-law, he's got Irish, Scottish, Balkan, like Balkan. I was looking at my sister. I said, you married a Russian. He had Mayan blood, and I said, there's only one way he could have got Mayan blood. And I'd look through it again. It's like, oh, there we go. Iberian Peninsula. You want to talk about somebody who's international? Like I said, I thought maybe half white. I wouldn't expect it. The stuff I saw. Breaking the law. No German. No German. I don't know how many Germans there are in the Louisiana area anyway. It is kind of throwing me off though to see this new crop of black folks with like German last names. And yet I was raised Lutheran. I got options though. Like I said, I can go Anglican, straight up Catholic. No, I can't. I can't be Catholic. I wasn't excommunicated, but I wouldn't exactly be welcome back into the fold either. At 5 years old, they thought I was the child of Satan. They said, no, maybe someone else can deal with him. Lutheran says, we don't care who your daddy was. The Lutherans are so welcoming, they would have welcomed the son of Satan. Lutherans also taught me kind of how to work hard. I mean, my family already had a strong work ethic, but Lutherans like to kick it up a notch. They don't give up on anybody. It will work your ass. I'd cut up, they didn't care. Get his dad on the line. We're not giving up on this one. All right. I'm just going to the services. Lutheran church service is all about, they don't like anything ornate. Like, everybody grabs their little the pews have no cushions in them. There's no gold or anything ornate around anywhere. Has a specific smell to it. No Middle Eastern, well, unless you count the Jewish thing. I'm not Arab. You know, I thought that was the deal. Maybe I'd show up, there'd be some Northern African. It's like, nah. Nigeria, Sierra Leone, some Kenyan, something else. It was somewhere from Central Africa. Like the African is a given. You don't even really care about where it's from because it's like, look, it's all a series of failed states as far as you're concerned. No Ethiopian. Just Pan-African, Pan-European, Pan-American, but 100% outcast. 100% outsider American. That thing gets bent, then it gets straightened out, then it gets bent. Maybe it's a different one. God, what an asshole. I know you can see me because he's got floodlights on. Share the road, asshole. thing I like about walking down Inwood is it's just an interesting street when you're not trying to dodge traffic. You see the banners of the advanced. You know, the kind of stuff that rich people would be interested in who live in this neighborhood. I can't say rich white folks anymore because nobody's white. Like I said, I'm just assuming that everybody's as mixed up as I am. One cool thing about the hybrid vigor, though, like I said, I don't have a lot of the genetic problems that other people have. The breast cancer happened to a cousin on my father's side. The only genetic disorder I got is bad eyesight. I don't know if being an endomorph is considered a bad genetic trait. I think that, like I said, your ancestors had to be fat asses to survive the Ice Age. When everything was good, that was when the hunter-gatherers were running around, you know, killing saber-tooths and whatnot. They wouldn't eat for long periods of time, and so those fat asses got them through. I have no idea what ectomorphs are good for. I'm guessing the endomorphs would bring down the prey, and then the ectomorphs, because they were so lightweight, they could just run for days, and they would just track prey. I mean the mesomorphs. The mesomorphs are the strong ones. And then there'd be the endomorphs preparing the food. An endomorph had to come up with agriculture. That just seems like something that a fat ass person would. It's like, man, you guys chasing this prey down all day. It's like, we knew better than this. Sat home and learned how to make bread. The first people to discover weed had to be endomorphs. It had to be somebody sitting around by a fire. Like, damn. It's like, I don't know, I've been burning these leaves, and man, they got me feeling all kinds of fine. I don't think an inboard discovered stimulants. I think an ectomorph had to be ectomorphs discovered that. Always on the go drinking from streams. There's a few leaves in there. Got hyper. Says, man, I can run a whole lot farther and faster with this stuff. Seems like an ectomorph might have discovered teas. One of the first teas, cocoa mate tea. Is dodgy traffic fun? Depends on what mood I'm in. I had a good night's sleep, but I'm hungry as hell. Did they get rid of Bush's god-awful paintings yet? Nope. Still up there. No, part of me is stupidly considering being in the turkey trot again being in the turkey trot. That's alright, that errant thought will pass. It's a stupid thought. Never again. No, I can do my own turkey trot. That's for the last 20 years. That has been my Thanksgiving tradition. I used to do a long 8-mile walk. This was the 8-mile route that I would do. I'd do my 6 and then I'd keep going all the way down to Lover's Lane. I don't know, I got options though. I'm off that Thursday. I think I'm off. I think that's when I'm taking my vacation is that weekend. I did it last year. Last year I was walking up somewhere. I waited till after Thanksgiving, after the Cowboys, and then started walking around the rich man's territory. I saw Batman v Superman, and I understand now why everybody had kind of a problem with it. It commits many sins. Do I think Affleck was that bad? No, Affleck's Affleck. He's a big fella. He was meant to do superhero roles. I think people are hard on it, but at the end of the day, people still watch the films, so. I didn't really appreciate seeing journalists play themselves in the movie. I was like, basically all they did was confirm what everybody knew, and that was they aren't journalists, they're actors pretending to be journalists. You can hire them and you can make them get up there and play pundit, because that's what they do anyway. I knew when I saw Patrick Leahy in it, I said, well, there's another one that's been bought and sold. He plays the United States Senator, he's not actually one. It was kind of a disjointed mess. The problem the DC Universe has been having is they try to make a movie that appeals to everybody. And they try to make a movie that'll set up other movies, and when they do that, it fails. You're trying to set up 4 movies and you fail to make 1 movie. It was a little bit more action-packed than Green Lantern. But it ran into the same problem of becoming a disjointed mess. You find yourself asking the question, a lot of assholes out here. It's a good place to do road repairs. Yeah, it was a little hard to watch. Like, I couldn't figure out. A friend of mine said that he didn't understand why they put Lex Luthor in it. I'm kind of agreeing with him. Yeah, I couldn't figure out why they had Lex Luthor in there. I was just like, okay, well, whatever. What should they have done? They probably should have just made Dark Knight Returns and been done with it. They bring Batman into it, but you're thinking it's Nolan versus Batman, and everybody has to tell you over and over again. They can't tell you the thing. By the way, this is not Nolan versus Batman. He's been doing it for 20 years, but we don't know what happened in that 20 years. They tried to put like 4 arcs. They tried to put about 5 or 6 different arcs into that one movie. Man of Steel, they did about 2 arcs. Man of Steel, they said, okay, we're going to take the Donner Superman thing, and then we're going to put the, and they're going to mix it in with War of the Supermen. For the most part, it worked. Batman v Superman, they tried to put 5 or 6 different things. They tried to make Dark Knight's Returns. They tried to mix it in with a lot of assholes out here. They tried to take Dark Knight's Returns and merge it with Death of Superman. And if you had never read either series, you'd be like, what the hell's going on here? Like, it wasn't really clear in the first place why they were fighting. They were just fighting. That setup was weak. I keep seeing how they got all the stuff scheduled to come out. They got Justice League scheduled to come out, and the 2 characters that they're going to be bringing in, they have no movie for them. Flash doesn't get a movie, and neither does Green Lantern. Because they kind of made it clear that the last Green Lantern that they made wasn't going to tie into this universe. At the end of the day, though, man, it's just comic book movie fatigue. I watch a comic book movie and I start picking everything apart, and I'm like, I understand. I get it. Superman's got a personal protection field, and he's super strong. But if anybody gets hit with a round from a Vulcan cannon, they're still gonna go down. You know, unless they weigh about 2 or 3 tons, they're gonna go down. They're gonna get flung off somewhere and then pop back up. In Batman v Superman, he gets hit with a nuke, and it dries him out a little bit, but once he gets a little sunlight in him, he's fine. Doomsday, it didn't even scratch him. Now, the problem with comic book movies is you've got 2 hours. I think Batman v Superman, I think it was like, the way I was watching was almost 3-4 hours. I was like, man, this is a long movie. I don't understand why Superman interfered with Batman when he was trying to retrieve the kryptonite. That didn't make sense to me. Like, he stopped Batman, but he didn't stop the guys he was chasing. They basically just kind of made it they boiled it down to a fight between the Boy Scout. Like, it got to be, it was just a schoolyard brawl. You know, the smartest guy in the class set up a fight between the jock and the bully to see who would win. No, that's Northwest Highway, man. I keep expecting stuff to slow down, right? Because it's 10 o'clock, 10:30. Or it's 2200 hours, 22:30. The Richard Donner Superman was cool because it gave, or the first two were cool because it made us realize that our favorite childhood hero could be relatable even into adulthood. Superman, like I said, the original Superman movies were for adults. I watched them as a kid and I liked them, but when I watched them as a grown-up, I appreciated them even more. Maybe I shouldn't say grown up. Maybe I should say it was made for all hot assholes. They made it for all maturity levels. And then Tim Burton with Batman. Basically, they brought Batman back to his roots. They say, look, we know you think we know you think Batman is this campy, corny gadget man. I was like, but in the 1930s, he was just an ass kicker. I mean, an ass kicker. He just went out there and slapped people around and beat them up. You know, they brought him back to the Bob Kane days. Batman doesn't kill, but hey, if he has to, you know. I never understood the no-kill rule. I was like, you know, there's a certain point where that's naivety. Because Batman was trained by ninjas, Batman's supposed to be a ninja. Ninjas do whatever it takes to get the job done. Well, Superman is more of a feat because of the fact that he could easily kill. He just doesn't. The reason that Superman doesn't have to kill is because, for the most part, the people that he fights against are no threat to him. Superman's fighting a bunch of gangsters with small arms. Superman looks like a grown-up getting ready to take a kid. All right, let's put you in timeout. At the end of the day, the reason I stopped believing in superheroes is because at least Batman is Superman. They have to sleep. Everybody's talking about Superman doesn't have to sleep. Yeah, Superman has to sleep. Superman thought he did. They had a storyline about that. Superman has to sleep. Batman has to sleep. I don't care about some stupid... Some writer says, oh, he does a little meditation thing and he's fine. He just needs 30 minutes of sleep a day. I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. Now, Bruce Wayne could be Batman, but he would have to be he has to be Howard Hughes, the reclusive Bruce Wayne, not the Playboy Bruce Wayne. Playboy Bruce Wayne can't be Batman. I don't even know if he's Batman every day of the week. It's almost like they made it sound like he goes out on patrol, but in another storyline he'd be staying in. It almost makes it sound like he does research and reconnaissance on a guy and then he goes after the one target. Batman's out fighting two-bit hoods. He's out there just trying to track the leader of a gang or a drug dealer or something. Drug lord, not drug dealer. You know, he runs around in about 90 pounds of armor and equipment, and yet he's like lightning fast. In Batman v Superman, he gets shot like 4 or 5 times. One time he gets shot in the head. So far, the best superhero film I've ever seen was probably was Super. Super was the best I've ever seen because it was pretty realistic. It's like it's not going to be superpowers. It's going to be one guy, one determined guy. It's going to be one determined guy who looks like a borderline terrorist. He's going to have all this gear. He's going to be a one-man crime-fighting army. He's going to go after a few choice targets. Kick-Ass was pretty good, but I know Kick-Ass in his first time out, he'd have got killed. Super, the guy already knew what to do. He started having hallucinations that a guy from the TV was talking to him. Nathan Fillion's character was saying, "You need to go out there and do what Father has told you to do." And the guy says, what's his name? Dwight Schultz. That's the other thing. Is your real superhero. He's not gonna be beautiful and rich. He's gonna be mean and downtrodden. I didn't know Holly Hunter was going to be in it. Batman v Superman. It's kind of sad when you see Holly Hunter and you see a lot of these actresses and you realize, man, that in Hollywood, I guess you absolutely have to get plastic surgery. Everybody's had something done, everybody's got botched surgeries, and I'd like to think that the only guys that didn't get any plastic surgery were like Bill Murray and Tommy Lee Jones, but maybe they got some too. I don't know. I saw Tim Robbins. That was a trip. I was like, wow. It's like, how old is Tim Robbins? He finally gained some weight. I kind of wish that Tim Robbins had done at least one movie where he had just like put on 40 pounds of muscle and got his mean on. I'm trying to think if he's ever been in a Western. I was watching Westerns with my dad, and like I said, I realized every damn person in Hollywood, every actor has to do, every male actor, it's like a requirement, has to do at least one Western in their career. Even Keanu Reeves, he did his with a time traveling a movie. Alan Rickman did a Western. Like, of all the people that didn't have to do one, Alan Rickman does one. I keep waiting for Jeffrey Rush to show up in something. You know, like they do a remake of Judge Roy Bean, The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. And there'd be Jeffrey Rush playing Judge Roy Bean. All day, every day, man. Assholes. And the cool thing about it is that it doesn't matter what race you are. Black guys have to, black male actors have to do the same thing. They still have to do Westerns. What's his name? Denzel Washington got his out of the way now. I think it's called Book of Eli. Book of Eli is basically a Western, but it's set in post-apocalyptic future. Kevin Costner was always going to do a Western. That was never going to be a question. trying to think, did Marlon Brando ever do a Western? He might have. Construction X! Oh, Spectrum Double Cross. Alright, we'll change that. Spectrum Double Cross. Yeah, I don't think Marlon Brando's ever done a Western. That's Brando, though. He does his own thing. I was gonna say, even Seth MacFarlane. See, that's how you know Seth MacFarlane likes the old stuff. He did a Western. Mel Brooks did a Western. What's his name? Jason Momoa, or Jason Momoa did a Western. It's called Frontier, but it's still a Western. Got his out of the way. The Rock. Has The Rock ever done a Western? No, I don't believe he has. It'll happen. Maybe he did. Did he do a remake of Billy Jack? I think there was one where you can't tell me a guy who grew up in Florida is not going to do a Western. Trying to think of who hadn't done a Western. Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's never done it. Well, I take that back. Maybe he has. Russell Crowe did a Western. Like what I'm saying is, it doesn't just like, I'm usually thinking American actors, but it's like British actors are doing Westerns too. They're not British, but he's Aussie, but still. That's how you cut your teeth too, man. Aussies love Westerns. Because that's what an Oz film is. It's just a Western set in Oceania. Somewhere out on the frontier are eccentric characters who have to do an eccentric task. I don't think Lawrence was Lawrence Fishburne in Posse? Man, I can't remember. I was gonna say Lawrence Fishburne's never done a Western, but he did dress up like a cowboy. Okay, Joe Pantanieri. Well, he's not really but he's not a leading man, so. Dennis Leary has never done a Western. Okay, there we go. See, I started to get into comedians because there are comedians who do Westerns. That have done Westerns. Have done Westerns. Man, I am tired. It doesn't matter how much sleep I get, it's because I'm dieting. Lost like 15 pounds. I'm gonna see if that BMI thing is true too. According to the BMI, because I'm 5'7", 5'8", I won't be out of the overweight category until I get down to about 159. I'm kind of scared to think about what I would look like at 159. Probably wind up in the ER. Like I said, I'm down to 190, my body's saying no more, and I'm just like, what do you mean no more? It's like, come on, man. Body says, no, I can't go any further than this. It's like, it's 190. I remember being 183 and it's just miserable. So now I'm going to try to get down even further than that, just to prove a point. The BMI is bullshit. $160 or die trying. Now if I'm lucky, maybe I get down to 170, and because I've got loose skin, maybe it's 10 pounds of loose skin. We'll see. $160 or die trying. Now you gotta understand that 160 is the bottom end of what the BMI says I'm supposed to be. It says I'm supposed to be between 118 and 159. If I get down to 118, I probably look like one of those Holocaust survivors. You think about when Michael Jacobs used to tell us about that. He said, when I arrived at Ellis Island, he said New York, I don't think it was, but when he arrived in New York, he got on the scale and it said he weighed 98 pounds. He was somewhere between 16, 19 years old, about 6'1". And he got on the scale and it told him he weighed 95 pounds. Wow, the trifecta. Roll and stop, double right line. And made an unsafe lane merge. Anyway. I said, found out an interesting tidbit. You really don't, for the most part, you don't need food. I mean, you don't need a lot of food. You can go a long time without food. You need a few nutrients here and there. It takes a lot to starve a person. To death, I mean to death, sorry. He said he was eating cornbread mixed with sawdust. So let's say that the Germans were generous enough to give them about a cup of cornbread a day. That's roughly 350 calories. So in a concentration camp, your average, I don't even know what to call them. I guess you would just call them, they treat them like inmates, but your cattle or whatever, but your average resident in there had to subsist on 350 calories a day. Why is that dangerous? A lot of people probably would have suffered from heart attacks because the body eats itself. One of the first things it goes after is cardiac muscle. So in concentration camps, when you weren't gassed or I mean, a lot of assholes out here tonight. Anyway, if they look through the records, they might find a lot of people died of heart attacks in concentration camps, simply as a result of the malnourishment. Like I said, I'm complaining, and I get by on about 1,500 calories a day. That's my ceiling. The upper ceiling is 1,500. When I'm done with this, I try to go up to 1,800. I don't need 2,000. This body's weird, man. If I eat what they recommend, 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day, I gain a lot of weight. Maybe it's because it's a cool night. It just pisses me off, is like I said, the weather's nice, it's nice and cool. So your idea is, hey, it's a nice day outside, let's drive and fuck that up. Like, the air is sweet, it's cool, but I'm gonna get in my car I'm gonna jump in my car that warms the air and pollutes it at the same time. And I'm gonna fuck that up for everybody else. Because it's such a nice day. I'm gonna get in and drive. .5, baby, that's a wrap. Why 0.5? I don't know. I have hardly any routes that are just 6 even, so they always have to go over a little.